Peace, everyone. Hello, hi there. Hi, this is Angela Jordan Perry, and I am the host. Let's see, let's start off. I'm recording a few places. So I am the owner, director, and administrator of an Option 3 Homeschool Accountability Association here in the state of South Carolina, which is a united community of homeschoolers unlimited. I'm going to give you all some time to come in. You also may be on my platform, Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling, and then also on Educating Our Own. So those are the platforms you're viewing us from. While I'm going to speak today I can speak a little bit more generic. It's not necessarily geared to those who are specifically homeschooling in South Carolina. But as you know, this week I'm doing a series on why now is the perfect time to start homeschooling your children. Now is the perfect time. And so each day this week, I am going to speak on a specific subject. And so by Friday, you should feel like you have all the tools that you need to get started in your homeschooling journey. Okay. So on Monday, we spoke about, learning your state laws and when you're actually going to start your homeschooling. Okay. When will you officially start? All right. So on day one, if you find that video, I also have a list, a link that will take you to every state and listing their homeschooling law so that you can view those. On day 2, I talked about knowing your budget and then choosing your curriculum. Okay, and these things are not in any specific order, although day 1 is the most important. You need to know your laws for your state. So if you're joining in, let me know where you're joining me in from, where you're viewing from, what state, and if you're already homeschooling, come on and let me know that. Be sure to hit the share button and get this out. So this is a perfect time to start homeschooling, and the reason being is because everyone, for the most part, if you haven't been already homeschooling, everyone for the most part has been forced to homeschool their children, have public school in your home. And the reason why I started this series is because so many contacts I've received saying, Angela, I do think I'm going to homeschool. Hi, Elena, you're in South Carolina, homeschooling for 6 years. Good deal. All right, very good. Well, I hope you this information is invaluable to you or valuable to you, and you would go ahead and hit the share button. Anyone, as you come in, just let me know where you're homeschooling at, how long you've been homeschooling, or if you're considering homeschooling. So I've gotten a lot of contact from people all over. Now they're thinking about homeschooling and they see that they can do it. Maybe they've either seen that the public school work that their children have been doing has not been the best, and they're like, what in the world have you been learning? Or they're now involved in their schools, and their children's schooling, of course, and they're looking into it and seeing that maybe their child is not grasping it and not doing very well in their schooling. Or 3, some people have said, I've been doing this now for this month or so. I know I can do this. Angela, help me get started. So that's why I'm doing this series this week. So go back and look at day 1, day 2, and day 3. Today, we're actually going to talk about learning your children's learning style, learning your teaching style, and then learning the best schedule for you all. So all of this is going to be about learning and through this process. So let me tell you first a little bit about myself. I have been homeschooling for 20 years, 2 decades this year right here. And 3 of my children have graduated. 5 I am still homeschooling. So you heard that right. That's 8 children. I've been homeschooling over these 20 years. And I am in South Carolina, and in the state of South Carolina, I give families legal status to homeschool. So that means that if they want to homeschool under option 3, they have to join an association. I am an owner, director, and administrator of an option 3 accountability association here in South Carolina. I have members all over the state of South Carolina in which I give legal status to homeschool. I give support, guidance, insights, how-tos, all those things as they go on their homeschooling journey. And so if you're in South Carolina and you're thinking about homeschooling, you can go to my website at www.UCHUnlimited.com to learn more. Okay. All right. So the other platforms, Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling there, and then Girlfriend's Chat, and Educating Our Own. All of those platforms are for those who are of the African diaspora who are homeschooling their children and they want more encouragement. Anyone can view it. Find it on YouTube. Find the podcast, Girlfriends Chat. Hundreds of interviews of those all over the world who are homeschooling. Okay, so let's dive into this. There are different learning styles, and each child is unique in that they learn differently. Now, when they're in public school, they are pretty much set into a mold and saying, this is how we're going to teach you. You have to learn this way that we're going to teach you. And the beautiful thing with homeschooling is that you get to cater to their learning style. You have some children who are visual learners. Some are visual and audio learners. Some are just audio learners. If you say it, they get it. They just need to hear it said to them over and over. Visual is if they need to see it. They need to see it on video. They need to see it in book. When I was growing up, I know that I am, and then let me give you the third one. And then the other one is kinesthetic. Kinesthetic is they need to touch it, feel it, manipulate it. You can be all three. You need to see it, you need to hear it, you need to touch it or write it. I am literally all three. If I see it and I'm hearing it and I'm writing, I am a note taker. Then I get it. Some people have a photographic memory. They just need to see it. Boom, they got it. Some are strong auditory learners. They just need to hear it. Then they process it and then they got it. Okay, so knowing your child's learning style will help you be able to set them up for success. If you know that they are audio learners versus visual learners, then you want to get things that are audio, spoken or talked, or make sure that you're giving instructions audibly, depending on their age. Okay, if you know that they're kinesthetic and they need to hand touch it and feel it and manipulate it and that type of thing, then you need to make sure that they are learning with manipulatives. Reading is with manipulatives. Learning how to spell is with manipulatives. Okay, all right, so learning their learning style will help you set them up for success. Knowing that some kids, they don't like to see color. When they look at a curriculum or a book, they don't need to see all the colors. It's very distracting. I had a child who was like that. It was just too much going on. She just needed black and white, to the point, no extra stuff, just the math problem, that's it, all right? So know the type of style that your child needs and observe it. Will you know it right off? Maybe not, but it may take some time of, going through the process to say, man, this is how they learn. This is what's, best for them. Then the second thing is learning how you teach. Okay, there's different ways of teaching, and maybe you are very much a hands-on person and you like to get in there with them and you like to instruct them and you like to give them that information. Maybe you on certain subjects like to be involved in other subjects you don't care to teach, and you don't have to. You can use other resources. You can find things online. You can, find audio teachings for science or social studies or something like that. Just knowing yourself will help you to be a better, home educator to your children. All right, maybe you are also one who don't like crafts, like me. I don't like crafts. So I'm not going to try and put myself in a position to do crafts with my kids because I don't like crafts. I don't like them. And I'm not sure why. I just think it's too tedious. And so, but then there are some parents who love crafts, and everything is a learning opportunity with hands and kinesthetic learning. So you will incorporate that into your education, right? And then there's some parents who they love math, or they don't like math, or they like science or don't like science. Know what your thing, how you teach, and what drives you and your love. Then do those things, and if they're not your love and not your drive and something you enjoy, don't do them. Find another resource to do it. Find an online course. Find another book, a curriculum that you can use. Find another mom that you can, work together. She loves science and you can speak Spanish. Then, work together where she can teach science to your kids and do all the labs because she loves all that. And you can teach Spanish because you love Spanish. That's me. I love Spanish. I can speak Spanish. I teach other people Spanish, okay? So learn and know your way of teaching. And once you do that without any guilt, your home educating is going to go so much better. Know yourself. Okay. And then the third thing, know your schedule. Know when is the best time that schooling should occur. If you know that you're not a morning person, then do not try and set the time for schooling, especially if you need to be involved. And depending on the children's age and you need to be involved with them, then don't start school at 9 in the morning. Don't start at 8. When do you get your mojo going? If it doesn't happen to 1, then start schooling at 1 o'clock, okay, in the afternoon. The beautiful thing about homeschooling is that you have that freedom. Once you understand the laws of your state, which was day number 1 conversation we had, once you understand the laws and you know that, hey, either you have a certain amount of hours you have to teach in a day, or I don't think any states would tell you have to start in the morning. I don't think that's the case. But know your best schedule, okay? And if you have children who some are morning children and they're up, and you're a morning person and you're up, then start school early. And maybe you have another child who is an afternoon child. They have a hard time getting up in the morning. They fuss, they cry, they're just grouchy. Morning time is not a great time for schooling. Then wait till afternoon, okay? So know your schedule. And if that means you are good for a couple of hours in the morning, then you need a break. And then, later in the afternoon, you're ready to go and you can finish the rest of your schooling for that day, okay? And the last piece I will, give you, every person has a different, probably opinion on all of this stuff, right? But one of the things I tell my members, my families who are all over the state of South Carolina, is that when you start homeschooling, just know that your school day it does not have to be all day long. And if you have any questions at any time, please, let me know. And if you're joining in just now, let me know where you're homeschooling at, what state, and how long you've been homeschooling. Or if you're considering homeschooling, then let me know that you're planning to homeschool. And hit the share button, okay? So this is the last piece I'll leave with you. Generally, a school day for homeschooling does not last all day long. If it does, something's not right. Sometimes that's the case for high school students, just depending on how much they have to go over and they have to learn. Their day may be a little longer. But elementary and middle school years should not be an all-day affair. You should start with an hour and 15 minutes or hour and a half at kindergarten. That's all. And do your subjects in that day. And you don't have to, unless your state of the laws in your state for homeschooling say you have to do all subjects every day. All the subjects every day. You don't have to do all the subjects every day. All right. But an hour and 15 to 30 minutes is good for kindergarten. And then for each grade moving forward, go for about 15 minutes. Add 15 minutes onto that. Okay. So first grade, now you're at an hour and 45 minutes. Second grade, 2 hours. 2 hours, 15 minutes for each grade that you move up. That is my rule of thumb. And again, from homeschooling for 20 years, I've seen that to be the case. For me and my home, I know by noon, 1 at the latest, my brain is over schooling. I'm done for the day, and my kids know we're done. They're at least done where they may need my help with something. If they have other things to do and they can do it on their own, then they can go on and continue after 1. But I'm done. I can't. I'm done. Like I can't even focus on any more schoolwork after 1 o'clock. So know yourself and know what works for you. Let's see. How do the older ones learn when it comes to things like labs, etc.? So good question, Monique's. Okay. All right, so when they're in high school level, they're doing labs. I use a resource, and day number 2, I gave you a whole list of resources that are online that you can use. I gave you probably over 20. All right, so look at my video day number 2. But when they get to that age where they're doing science labs and what have you, I generally will pair them up with another family they have a child who's also doing labs, so they can do them together. Number 2, they have, I have used a co-op as a resource where I know that there's a family who, someone in the co-op is teaching that lab, whether it's chemistry or physics or biology. I've used that in the past. And thirdly, virtualhomeschoolgroup.org, and I had that on the list from yesterday's video, Tuesday's video, day number 2. Virtualhomeschoolgroup.org is great, and I've used them for years for all of their sciences. From physical science, I'm using that now. Biology, I'm using that now this year. And then I've used chemistry and advanced biology. And one of the things they do is they actually will conduct the lab right there so that the child can follow along. So in the book, it'll show what resources they need for that lab, then they can follow along with them, okay? So that just gives you an idea. That's how I handle the labs when they get to high school. Let's see. Hi, Monique. So you are from Kenya. Hi, considering homeschooling. Beautiful. I did an interview with a family who were in Rwanda, and I just did an interview on my show, Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling. I did an interview from Rwanda and an interview from Ghana, so check those out. And so very good. So you are from Kenya, so I guess you're in the States here considering homeschooling. But look at my videos of day 1 and day number 2. Be sure to connect with me on Girlfriend's Guide to Homeschooling with Angela Jordan Perry on Facebook and on YouTube. And then my podcast, Girlfriends Chat, is on anchor.fm/Girlfriends Chat. But I'm on all your podcast platforms, okay? So there you get encouragement. You'll hear hundreds of interviews to hear how people are doing what they're doing, what their most successful resources are, their challenges, just encouragement, as you go on your journey, okay? So I hope this has been helpful for you on day number 3. I'll come back tomorrow with day 4, and then on Friday, day number 5, we'll wrap it up on some pertinent information you need to know on getting your journey started. So again, look at day number 1, day number 2, and here's day number 3, learning your child, how they learn, learning how you teach, and then learning your best schedule. All right, if you have any questions, put them down below, hit the share button and get it out. I appreciate you all. Peace, and until tomorrow, take care.